Hey everybody, Tim Rosgany here with another Wounded and Wonderful video. This one's a tough one, so I'm going to ask you to hang in there with me. It's about why you might sometimes feel like you're holding on by the merest fingertips, desperately trying not to get swept away by the vortex pulling at you. Every single human being on this planet gets installed with a persona that is not of their own making. It is handed to them by other human beings, individually and collectively. Call it the false self, call it the ego. It is the personality that is handed to you and fitted onto you like a second skin. It is not that which is you. It is that which they told you was you. It's the thing that covers and hides your true self. For those who travel the path to healing, there comes a point where you realize the falseness of this false self. It can take decades to reach that point. Years of striving and grasping, pitting your puny will against the power of the universe, life itself. Depending on how stubborn you are, you eventually realize the futility of pitting your will against the universe. You raise the white flag of surrender. You may not be able to eliminate the false self, but you see it for what it is. And you realize that you will never be able to find peace by pretending that that false persona that you are handed is actually you. In short, you recognize the necessity of letting go of that false self in order for your true self to emerge. But how do you do that? How do you give up or get past that which, for all the years you've been alive, you have believed to be you? That's crazy. That sounds like suicide. But there it is. Once you see the false self for what it is, once you understand that for your entire life you've been acting on conditioning and programming that you had no choice over and that did not come from you at all, how do you cope with that? And that is why I say that the path of healing is not for the faint of heart. And that is why it can sometimes feel like you're walking a tightrope over the abyss. The urge to go back to the comfortable prison of the false self is powerful. If you just accept that you are what everyone has been telling you you are for your entire life, things would be so much easier. You could slot right back into the life you had before your eyes were opened. And there's the rub. Once your eyes have been opened to the reality that you were conditioned and programmed with a persona not of your own making, you can't really go back. Your reward for waking up is that in place of the self that was constructed for you, you now have to construct your own authentic self. It can feel completely daunting and totally unfair, especially when you see others who seem completely blissfully happy in their cloud of unknowing. You might want to go back to sleep or silently cry out for someone to come and rescue you. How are you supposed to recreate yourself? It's too much to ask. But no one is coming to rescue you. You can't click your heels and take away the anxiety and fear of walking away from the familiar and into the unknown. You must suffer the truth of your own existence. I'm sorry. I wish there was a magical answer, a secret shortcut to healing. I can tell you that you are not alone. There are others who are fighting their own invisible internal wars, who are bravely facing the uncertainty of life itself because they believe it is better than all of those years that they spent laboring under the seductive tyranny of the ego, of the false self. And that is why you have to seek out others who are traveling on their own path to healing, that you may draw strength from one another, that you may celebrate one another's victories, large and small. For even though you must travel your path to healing alone, as each of us must, there is sustenance available along the way for your journey. It comes from other souls who are fellow travelers. It comes from the natural world in all its beauty. It comes from the universe itself, and it is abundant and ever-present if you open yourself up to it. And that doesn't make it any easier when you're in the grip of uncertainty and fear, when you feel so very alone and you're desperate for someone to come and rescue you from yourself, when you find yourself on that tightrope over the abyss, frozen with the fear that you're going to fall and never stop falling. But the universe will always be there to catch you, as it has always been there since the day you were born. Powerful as it is, that fear is a vestige of the false self. The healing power of the universe is so much greater than our fear. So see the fear and feel the fear and keep moving forward anyway. And reach out to your fellow travelers. For the hand you hold steadies you on your journey as well. Wishing you peace in this moment, I thank you for listening.